Welcome back to On the Money with financial advisor Ryan Wheelis of Allied Wealth right here in Texas. You know, Ryan, I do appreciate that you're saying get a second opinion, but I don't even know that you're getting any first opinion from your 401k. If you're working right now, it's not necessarily their job to help you with the asset allocation. So I don't even think it's a second opinion. I think it's reaching out to you to get a first opinion and saying, am I taking too much risk? Should I take too much more? Does the 401k call you when you're 64 years old and say, hey, Bob, you're 64. Are you going to retire next year? Hey, Susan, you're about a couple of years away from retirement, but your portfolio took a 10% hit this year. What are you thinking about? Is your 401k actively reaching out to you?
No, they're not. You don't have an advisor coming around to your desk on a quarterly basis going, hey, it's time to update your asset allocation. You know, at 50, you had the money allocated like this in your 401k. That's pretty aggressive and okay at 50, but now you're 55. Should we be taking the same risk at 55 that we were taking at 50? And Spike, this is really interesting. I'm so glad you led the segment with this. One of the biggest questions we answer for people when they call the show or text plan to 21,000 is, what do you do with your 401k when you retire? All right. Yeah. And that's interesting because when we say that, I think people go, well, wait a minute, Ryan, are you telling me I can't come talk to you until I retire about my 401k? And the answer to that is absolutely that's not accurate. You can do that. Okay. And the way we look at it is this. You may be 50. If your money is inside of a 401k at 50 years of age and you have a pension, let's just say with Exxon, okay, there's not much I can do for you other than help you allocate your capital inside of your 401k account. And it doesn't take us long to do that because you either have Exxon stock, the Exxon 401k, and you have about 20 different mutual funds you can pick from, maybe 25. I could easily provide you an allocation, and I would gladly do that for anybody who called the show in minutes. We will do that. And hey, we believe the parable of the seed sower in the Bible. Right? I got to sow seeds today to have a crop tomorrow, right? If I help you with your 401k, and build a relationship with you, it's pretty easy for us to become client advisor when you do retire. Now, if you're 55, you may qualify for something called an in-service withdrawal, all right, where you can roll your money out of your 401k plan, not pay any taxes whatsoever. Your 401k plan stays open. You continue to contribute to your 401k, get your match, the whole 9 yards, all right? And then we can take those dollars and begin to craft a retirement plan. And what I mean by that, Spike, is a plan has got to speak to whether or not you are risk focused. Again, that person that's going to take 4 or 5% of their accounts, they're going to be able to weather the market storms up, down, or sideways, which means, by the way, folks, when the market just pulled back from what it did from February 19th, we went down nearly 20%, okay? You're going to have to stay in the markets. You can't get out because if you did, when the markets bottomed, you could have missed that 12% up day that we had. It was a massive day. And if you were sitting on the sidelines, you missed that. And if you did, you in essence locked in a 12% loss. And that's pretty scary. Yeah. And so we got to figure out if you're risk focused, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Just understand that if that's you, you've got to stick with it. But also understand the emotions that you feel with your money change dramatically when you walk out of that door from your job or your career and leave that paycheck behind. And now your paycheck has to come from your life savings. The emotional ties to that get very, very big, right? The last one, Spike, is that, if that 55 number would do your in-service withdrawal, we may be able to put some things together that provide safety and guarantees. The sooner you put those things together that provide safety and guarantees, the larger the guarantees get. So if you're 55 and would retire at 60, maybe even 65, the larger those guaranteed income amounts become, all right? And once you put money into motion like that, in 5 years or 10 years, contractually, what your income is going to be. Mutual funds do not contractually guarantee income. Stocks do not contractually guarantee income. ETFs do not contractually guarantee income. There's all kind of stuff out there that does. There's all kind of stuff out there that does not. But we got to figure out kind of where are you? And then open up the world of options to you. We can do the same thing if you're age 60, starting early at 59.5 years of age. So a lot can come from understanding your retirement income style, all right? But no matter which one you are, understand which one you are. Understand that may have changed. Get an opinion. Sit down and talk to a holistic financial planner with a fiduciary responsibility and duty, okay? And that does the whole thing with somebody who can bring in things like private equity, properly structured annuities, properly structured life insurance programs, properly structured, separately managed accounts that can go to cash when the markets are dropping in the event they need to, okay? That can build a plan for you that speaks to what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah. Folks, you can call that phone number if you're listening on the radio show, 844-944-7555, and get started on your own portfolio risk review. Yes, during your working years. As Ryan said, there might not even be anything we can do much for you as a client, but let us take a look to see what you're choosing in there. Make sure you're getting yourself in the right position. We know that usually at the age 59 and a half, you can do that in-service rollover to yourself. Then you can kind of find out what you want to do from there. You can start the clock on certain tools, income-producing tools. The whole world opens up to you there. It's just if you're saving everything into your retirement accounts at work, do you have anybody who's helping you manage them? Very likely not, because they're not supposed to. They can tell you how to reset your password, but they can't help you with the asset allocation. So another way to do this that Ryan keeps saying is text the word plan. So open up your phone to the text feature, type in the word plan 21000 and just hit send. We'll ping you back. We'll set up the appointment for you. That's it. And as Ryan keeps saying, no cost to you. Now, you've got in front of you like 4 different styles, I think, that had to do with the retirement planning. What were those 4 different styles there?
Well, Spike, I mean, I've narrowed it down to just be even easier than that, because it's kind of hard to talk about a graphic on the radio, as you know.
Yeah.
I do well communicating, but this is kind of can be difficult. But the bottom line is either you are someone who is safety first or risk first. If you're safety first, you don't want to have any money. That's not necessarily the case. You don't want the money you need to pay for food, water, shelter, clothing, access to healthcare, transportation, utilities, and maybe vacations to come from the ups and downs of the stock markets. You want to know that those dollars are contractually guaranteed to you, okay? Regardless of what happens to the stock market, the economy, or interest rates. And there are ways to do that out there, folks. There are. We were very good at it at Allied Wealth in a big way. Now, you can be safety first and not necessarily want to be contractually guaranteed, because contractually guaranteed does mean for the long haul, okay? Maybe you want some optional things out there. Well, let's open up the world of something like a private credit fund to you. Private credit funds have become more mainstream, more accessible. Right now, private credit funds are yielding anywhere from 8 to 10%. All right. Now, we have one that we offer. It's through BlackRock, by the way. If you go back and look at the share value of the funds, and I want to say the numbers that go back 6 or 7 years, okay? The share value of that fund has moved between $24.50 a share to about $25.50 a share. That's not a lot of movement, is it?
Yeah, I was like, okay.
And has yielded just over 10% for that period of time. I mean, if you want income, that's a great way to get it. All right. There's also things out there like structured notes. Structured notes have higher yields, 10, 12. I've even seen some with 14%. All right. And they have downside protections that can also provide income, but there are more options available with them. Some people like to say, hey, Ryan, let's do a little bit of both. Let's do some guarantees and some options. And I'm not talking options in the sense of stock options in the sense of my money's, in something I can get my money out of and do something else with it if I want to. Then on the other side is you've got what's really called the risk-focused or risk-first approach. And risk-first is, hey, I'm okay. I saw Ken Fisher's ad, and I can put $500,000 with him and make $1 bazillion over retirement. And I'm okay with the fact that my portfolio may drop 30 or 40%. I'm okay with that. I do think, Spike, there's a certain level of wealth that I would rather see people have to be more risk-first approach. Meaning, could you lose half your money, God forbid, and still maintain your lifestyle? Still have an asset base left to maintain your lifestyle. Could you lose half of it again and still maintain that, right? Where are you on that spectrum? And I think it's important to understand that, because the folks that think they're risk-focused and they're actually not, or they change their mindset in the middle of a downturn like we just had, they risk locking in losses and never being able to recover, or taking, 5, 6, 7 years to recover. And my thing about time, Spike, when you were facing retirement, folks, I know money's important, but it is not your most valuable commodity. The most valuable commodity you have is your time, and you're running out of it. It's that simple. We all are. Every tick of the second hand, we are all running out of time. And I think that understanding what income style you are is so important. And we are retirement income specialists at Allied Wealth. It's what we do, all right? And I have an entire team of certified financial planners standing by right now to help you build out your own certified financial plan. And let's discover together which income mindset you are and explore the various options around that income mindset to build a plan for you that lasts longer than you do, lasts longer than tariffs, lasts longer than market downturns. To get that, folks, is so easy. All you got to do is pick up your phone right now, open up your text application, and text the word plan to the number 21,000. Again, that's PLAN to 21000. To 21000. Or you can call the show, 844-944-7555. Again, 844-944-7555. And Spike and I'll be right back to talk more about tariffs, Trump, taxes, and retirement income style awareness.